So guys, we have a problem. Windows 11 is actually not as great as we think it's going to be for a lot of people. So let's start off right away by saying yes, Windows 11 is going to be amazing. If you do go ahead and pick it up, you are going to really enjoy it, in all honesty, with all the new features with Amazon, possible collaboration with Steam and Epic Games, just overall the atmosphere, the look of it. But what's going to end up happening, and it's sad to say, is it's going to be a Windows 8 clone. Guys, did not know Windows 8 was a failure, and this is pretty much what this is going to be too. Because of the fact that, yes, you can run this bad boy Windows 11 on not too bad of hardware. The only thing you need is less than 1 gigahertz of less than 1 gigahertz 2-core processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and 64 gigabytes of storage. As long as you can go ahead and have that, you can run this Windows 11. But here is the big fat butt in the room, and the reason why: if you do not have a PC that was made within the last 2 or 3 years, you're probably not going to run Windows 11. And that's because it has to have the TPM 2.0 chip. Yeah. You don't have that, you're not running Windows 11. And that's really what's going to destroy Windows 11, is that you need that. And if you guys do not know what that is, pretty much what it is, it's a chip that handles like encryption, it handles your passwords, that kind of stuff, safety features. So if you do not have that on your motherboard, you are not going to be able to run Windows 11. Now, most of the motherboards that came out the last 3 years, they have that automatically, don't worry about it. But if you have, let's say, an older motherboard, older CPU, you might be in a little bit of an issue, because if that's the case, you cannot run Windows 11. Now, right now, they have tested Windows 11 on an i8. They are currently testing it on i7. We'll see if i7 can handle Windows 11. If it can, obviously that's great. If it can't, then that's something else to talk about. But nonetheless, though, let's say, for example, they can run on i7. That TPM 2.0 is going to be absolutely huge. And if they can't get that to work, I mean, it's going to be literally a Windows 8 clone where we just see an absolute mess. And I don't want to see an absolute mess, because I was really excited about Windows 11. Now, I'm going to get it, obviously, and, use it. But if it needs that chip and they cannot run it without that chip, they're going to have to do something, because currently, right now, Microsoft did release a end date for Windows 10. You cannot stay on Windows 10 forever. In 2025, I know, 4 years from now, it is going to go ahead and expire, and you can no longer get support for Windows 10, and you're going to have to upgrade to something, whether that is Windows 11 or it's another Windows that they go ahead and release, because they're going to have to, especially with the fact that, again, a lot of people are on older hardware. It's just a fact. Like, yes, I spent $3,000 on this PC to my left here about a year ago, and yeah, of course, I'm safe, right? I'm in a good spot. But if you didn't, and let's say, for example, or not even that you bought a PC 3 years ago, if you built a PC, right, and you just didn't use the most latest up-to-date motherboard, you use an older motherboard, say you did a budget PC, guess what? That PC might not have this chip, and if this doesn't have this chip, you're not running Windows 11. So this is it's such a weird flaw that it's going to be interesting to see, how this ends up going, because Windows 8 was a failure for many reasons. Obviously, it wasn't because of this chip, but it was a failure for many reasons. And if Windows 11 ends up being a failure because of this, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to be upgrading to it. With all this being said, now there will be obviously a good amount of people, because a lot of people have newer hardware, whether it is a motherboard or CPU upgraded. But for those who don't, Windows 10 it is, and you got 4 years for either you to upgrade your software, upgrade your hardware, I meant to say, or Windows to Microsoft to be like, hey, you know what? We're going to fix Windows 11 and we're going to create a new thing. And based on what I understand, I don't think they will. because this is a huge thing in their software, is this TPM 2.0 chip. And as long as it's a huge thing, even if, let's say, for example, Windows 11 ends up being a failure, Windows 12 or whatever they release after that, it's going to be the same concept. They're not going to just go ahead and be like, okay, well, because that was a failure, we're going to scrap the whole TPM 2.0 chip, because they can't. They really can't. That is a really big data encryption for them, and obviously to keep your stuff safe, obviously to keep, you know, your passwords encrypted. So this is huge. This is something where if obviously Microsoft has in the past gotten hacked and, you know, people have backdoored their way into different things, this keeps that from happening. So I'm interested to see what ends up happening with Microsoft, but I will say, you know, this is definitely disappointing, but see you guys in the next one. Peace out.